So I was trying to do a mould out of this acrylic piece, but it's too thick to snap. So I had to rethink how I'm going to do this mould. So what I did now is I'll take this plastic film off here. For those of you that like sound, you're welcome. For those of you who don't, I'm sorry. Put my craft glasses on. Alright, so I thought, how do I do this now? Because I can't break that off. So if I do that, and then glue round, cut this off, we'll have a mould. And I think it's going to work. Let's cut this pot. So I think if we did it to that bottom bit there, maybe? Yeah. Whether I can get this to, there we go. Just try and cut around the same line. Should have got smaller, delicate scissors. Slowly, surely, can you see what I'm doing? You can make a mould out of anything you want to. Alright, there you go. There's our little mould pot. So we can stick him down there and off we go. Turtle! And I love turtles. I thought I might have a go at moulding him. And he will fit in that one. So I will cut the top off that and will it? Yeah, just. Yeah, it will. And we'll mould that too. Okay, so I've turned the sound off from my video footage because I had the radio playing and I didn't want to get done for copyright in that respect. Excuse me. So here I am explaining. I've gone around, I've sealed the edges with the hot glue gun, and here you go. And I've also put some hot glue under the bases, and therefore the mould shouldn't seep underneath the two items that we are doing the mould. Okay, so I've changed the scales because it wasn't registering the part B solution, that is the hardener that you mix with the part A, which is the purple silicone. So I changed the scales just to see if that would help, and it did. Okay, so this is ease release, which is basically a mold release spray. I'm just going to go into the other room and spray. Alright, so let's add part B to part A, and you need to mix this thoroughly, making sure it's all mixed well so that we ensure a good silicone hardness, firmness, but you try not to introduce too many bubbles if possible. But I will be putting it into my vacuum chamber and getting as many bubbles out as possible to try and ensure that the silicone around the item that we're moulding doesn't have any air bubbles stuck to it. That's the plan, and the mould release hopefully will ensure that those bubbles can release from it too. That's hopefully what's going to happen, although we shall see. Time will tell. I'm wiping off off the excess silicone off my silicone mixing stick. And the reason I'm doing it straight away is because silicone will stick to silicone, hence why the last blue batch of silicone is still stuck to it. I can't get it off. So I'll wipe it immediately. Here's my vacuum chamber. This is a 19 litre vacuum chamber. Nobody sponsored me. I'm trialing this myself. It's the first time I'm using it. So let's try and get some bubbles out. And it is a trial and error. I'll tell you for now that this didn't happen too easily. My pump, I'm not sure if it's working correctly or if I'm doing things wrong. It took me a bit of time, so I'm just going to turn off this over light too so that you can try and see a little bit better. Okay, so I am turning things on now. I know you can't really see super clearly, it's hard with the reflection on the glass lid, but hopefully you should see some bubbles. I don't think I can zoom in either, no. So hopefully there you can see the surface there. There are some bubbles happening. And I'm looking in and I'm checking my compressor, my pump I should say. Yeah, I'm having to stop and start the pump because it's a new pump and it's smoking. Shouldn't be doing that. But so this is going to take a little while, so I'm going to stop here and then I'll show you towards the end of the vacuum to see the bubbles. But you can see there's lots and lots of bubbles happening. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now the other thing is when you add the hardener, you only have a very short time to put this silicone into your mold because it does start to set and thicken really fast. So it is tricky to time it where you're not leaving it too late, and I'm afraid I did do that with this one. Look at all those bubbles there, you can really see them now. Yeah, I did leave it a little bit too long because of the problem with the pump, and it did start to thicken when I poured it out, and you'll see that shortly, but I'm just going to pause it now. Okay, so you can notice there's virtually no bubbles. It did get really bubbly really fast, but it took a long time. So I've just gone down to the end there. I've released the pressure, which you have to do slowly so you don't risk imploding the pot. And we'll take that out. And as I say, I did leave it slightly too long, which you will notice when I pour this in now. Let's get the mold ready. And I think this is going in the turtle. I was going to do both. I thought I might have enough, but then I realised while I was pouring that I only had enough really for the one mould. And I'm trying to pour it really slowly, but look how gloopy it is already. So this starts to set really fast, this silicone, which is not ideal when you don't want bubbles. So I'm not sure how this turtle is going to turn out, but all we can do is try. So at this point I thought it's a lost cause really. Just pour it in. Just pour it in, Sarah. We'll tap it, we'll do the best we can, and hopefully it'll release any bubbles, but I've not got much hope for that one. Maybe it'll shock me. I do tap it a lot and get a lot of the bubbles out, but I'm not sure if I got all of them out. So we'll see, time will tell. So here I am, I'm dropping it from a distance, from a height, hoping to dislodge any possible trap bubbles, making sure there's no break in that seal, which there's not. Having a look underneath there to see if it's leaked underneath where I put the glue, and it's not. So I've definitely got a clear opening, and it's all I can't see any bubbles around the turtle at all from underneath. And so I continue to drop it to release as many bubbles as possible in this thick silicone. So what I'm going to do with the next silicone is, I'm going to add slightly less of the hardener. So if you want it to harden faster, you add more, and only by, you know, grams. And if you want it to do it slightly slower, you add slightly less. So, but you have to be very careful with those measurements that you're doing. There are instructions that you need to follow, and you need to follow that with any silicone that you're using to make sure that it's set correctly. So the next batch, I'm just going to add slightly less and slightly more silicone, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better once we vacuum, and it won't start coming out as gloopy straight away. So let's mix that up now, and I'll be back to you rather than watching it all again. There we go. Ta-da! Where there's a will, there's a way. As my grandmother would say. All right, let's see if we can take this off now, because it is stuck onto glass, the glue underneath. Come on. Yes, and it's come off clean. Nice. Let's see if we can't unmold these together. Okay, I'm hoping. Let's do this one first, because this is the one I read. Look, let me just have a quick look inside there. And I can see bubbles. But I can't see it going under the stuck on glass pieces with the mould, so that is good news by the looks of things. And you can tidy up these with these scissors around these edges too, but I haven't obviously yet. Let's have a look at this one. I did spray it with mould release. Oh, see the leg's broken because it is plaster. Oh, there's another leg broken. It is sticking to it rather well. I did spray it though, because I knew it would stick to it well. Let's take that out. It does look clean inside. I don't want that white stuff. I'm going to pull this over because I don't want that going on me bench, because the market is already getting marks everywhere. You still see? Yeah, you still see what I'm doing, aren't you? Just gonna get that out. Right, let's see if we can't get him out this way. With his broken legs and his head. Well, his head stayed intact. There we go. That's actually come out quite well. Get rid of the bits. Don't want any white plaster left in because that will show in your resin. But look at the detail in there. That's actually come out quite well. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite optimistic. It will be dull, won't be shiny, but there's a lot we could do with that. So I'm actually very happy about that one. So move that out of the way. And this is the one I really wanted to do. Okay. Now there is a potential, sorry, that this is going to be tricky to unmold because those, oh, I can see it. It has gone underneath. Can you see that? If you have a look, you'll see the silicone stuck. Look. It's going to be a nightmare. It's because it's a cheap quality that I got. I paid a lot of money for it. Sorry about my dirty nails. I've been gardening. Well, not gardening, I've planted a pot plant. I can't garden at the minute. Oh, that's sharp too. You have to be very careful with this. We just keep working it and hoping it'll pop out. Oh, look. Little foot's broken off. Excellent. See, that was just glued on. Cheap. Oh, look at his little face. See his little face. Never get stuck. I've got hold of his face now because that's not sharp. Let's get behind the body. So you can see how much silicone actually did get stuck onto those pieces that were glued on. That was my fear. And I've got lots of, that's really not a clean mould at all. Eek. I can see shiny bits, but there's a lot of, can you see? There's a lot of bits that are not perfect. And it would have been good had it been moulded and not had glass pieces stuck onto the body. So I'm not terribly impressed with that at all. Okay. What a beautiful day outside. Now look at my little courtyard there, but I wanted to show you, hoping this will pick it up. So that's inside, you see the glistening? That's from the glass, so it's going to be shiny. You can see I've cut all those bits out. Hopefully you can see some areas are neater than others, like there's a bit down there that's not so neat. But a little shiny nose, very cute. You can see it glistening, so it should, in theory, glisten. So let me show you in comparison, which I've not trimmed yet, but this one, you can see there's no glisten because that's been done off plaster. See? I've not trimmed the edges on that one yet, just to show you. But you can see the shell. So that should be good too.